Presiding Officer, as Cabinet Secretary for a Wellbeing Economy and a proud Arcadian, I simply do not recognise the picture that the Conservatives, through Liz Smith, have attempted to paint of Scottish tourism just now. The Government's track record on tourism is one of unwavering support, and rightly so, as tourism is a jewel in the crown of Scotland's economy, driving growth, creating employment and showcasing the beauty of our nation, as Liz Smith rightly outlined at the start of her speech, our history, our culture to the rest of the world. I assure you our government recognises its significance and remains committed to supporting and fostering its success. And first, let me address that claim at the end of Liz Smith's speech that the SNP-Green Government lacks a dedicated tourism minister. While ministerial titles change, our responsibilities are absolutely set, and placing tourism at the heart of the responsibility of the Minister for Small Business, Liz Smith herself recognised that the majority of tourism businesses are themselves small businesses, demonstrates and strengthens its position rather than diminishes it. I'll give way briefly.
Liz Smith? Can I just ask why it is that the tourist sector itself is complaining and feeling perplexed that there isn't a dedicated minister? I've
spoken regularly to Mark Crothall and others within the sector about and reassured them. And I think the engagements that Richard Lochhead has engaged upon since he's been appointed would confirm that reassurance. But it's not just Richard Lochhead that is leading so energetically as he is on this front. Other ministers across government are engaged in tourism matters, myself included within Cabinet, pooling our expertise and resource to drive the industry forward. All signs suggest this approach is working. The most recent figures from the Office of National Statistics, released just last week, show that there were 3.2 million visits to Scotland from overseas visitors last year, compared to 3.46 million visits over the same period in 2019. This recovery of demand outpaces the rest of the UK, where the comparable figure remained 25% below 2019 figures. Let me repeat that, as I think it confirms the strength of our approach here in Scotland. Recovery elsewhere in the UK in 2022, 25% below 2019, against us at 7% below here. Furthermore, these figures show that spending from overseas visitors in Scotland has recovered to pre-pandemic levels already, with the sector seeing spend of £3.2 billion in 2022, up 24% in nominal terms on pre-pandemic levels. This is important, as our tourism strategy Outlook 2030 is focused on tourism as a force for good, with visitors who linger longer, contribute more, and our strategy has social, economic and environmental sustainability at its core. There are also promising— I'm really sorry, but time is tight this afternoon, Mr Fraser. There are also promising signs that 2023 will be another great year for Scottish tourism, with numerous businesses already witnessing strong bookings, increased investment flowing to the sector, the introduction of our new direct air routes and a line-up of unmissable events such as the highly anticipated World Cycling Championships. All indications point to another successful year ahead for Scotland's vibrant tourism industry. But we are not complacent and pedalling hard for success with the tourism industry for the people and businesses involved and its contribution to the economic growth here in Scotland. Championing a vibrant tourism sector is at the heart of our national tourism strategy, which remains highly relevant and influential even after the experiences of the last 3 years. This strategy was developed through close collaboration with the sector, ensuring it reflects our shared ambition to position Scotland as a global leader in 21st century tourism. To drive this vision forward, we have established the Tourism and Hospitality Industry Leadership Group, and the purpose of this group is to provide strategic direction, ensure the successful implementation of Scotland Outlook 2030, and under the co-chairmanship of the Minister, Richard Lochhead, the Scottish Tourism Alliance Chief Executive Mark Crothall, the ILG acts as a unifying force, guiding the industry forward towards recovery, sustainable growth and excellence, ensuring that the tourism industry is at the forefront of our well-being economy. But of course, that said, many of the most pressing challenges facing the sector lie out with the powers available to us. Keith Brown made a very salient intervention. An industry survey published in 2019, on the 29th of May, shows that high energy costs, the need to cut VAT, the impact of high inflation and the impact of Brexit on labour shortages are all key issues facing the sector. That's the industry saying it for themselves. So we continue to call on the UK Government to use its reserve powers in a manner that supports rather than hampers Scottish tourism. I'm really sorry, I'm in my final minute to conclude. And in conclusion, I strongly reject the opposition's claim that this government is doing anything other than supporting our Scottish tourism industry. Of course there are challenges, and not least the ferry maintenance, which I absolutely recognise. But our government has consistently prioritised the tourism sector, recognising the importance of tourism to our economy and the well-being of our communities, making strategic investments in marketing, infrastructure and workforce. We have listened to the concerns of residents, businesses and industry experts, and we have taken decisive steps to address them. We have seen positive results with increased visitor numbers, economic growth, benefits for communities and enhanced international reputation. We are actively engaged in fostering the growth and success of the sector and will continue to work with them and our partners to develop a comprehensive blueprint for the future, ensuring that Scotland remains an attractive, welcoming, prosperous destination from visitors around the world, and realising our shared ambition to confirm Scotland as a world leader in 21st century tourism.